Hi, I'm Catherine Smith. I'm a freshman at Michigan State University, and I went to Ireland this summer on the FSA track entitled Irish Institutions of Freedom. It was a lot about the Irish political structure as well as the governmental structure of the Republic of Ireland as well as Northern Ireland. This is the University of College Cork. This is where we spent our first week attending classes and getting to know each other a little bit. This is Killarney National Park, where we spent a day hiking through waterfalls and exploring around a little bit. This is the Rock of Cashel, where we went to learn a lot about the history of the Republic of Ireland. First, I would like to talk a little bit about how my FSA program affected my experience here at Michigan State. I think that FSA made MSU a lot easier in that it allowed me to establish friendships with other Michigan State students prior to the academic year and to my arrival on campus. The transition at MSU and just college life in general was extremely difficult. It was, suddenly you're living in a small dorm room, you have to do your own laundry, you have to go to lunch in the caf every day, and you have these new hard classes. And upon my arrival to campus, I just knew I could go to any of my FSA friends for help if I needed it. I could get advice from them. I could just talk to them about different concerns about college life, and they were going through the same thing I was. So it was very helpful to have friends here already who understood me. And like I said, not many of my friends from my hometown were going to state, so I was very nervous about meeting friends when I came here. I came from a very small hometown, and with 50,000 students at Michigan State, I was definitely intimidated by the size. I was worried that it would be chaotic and very tough to make friends. However, FSA in a way made MSU seem a lot smaller. It gave me a group of about 30 friends that I could go to and that I could meet and just talk to. And that made it much easier. I had these people that I had made memories and connections with from different hometowns and majors, etc., that I otherwise probably would not have become friends with during my time here at MSU. I'm in James Madison College, so I live with people also in James Madison College. I eat with them, I go to class with them, etc. And as much as I love having friends who share a common interest with me, it's also very nice to have these people who are very different, a very diverse group of friends that I've met. There's different hometowns. There's people from Florida, Pittsburgh, the Upper Peninsula, from more on the East Coast. They're just from everywhere. So it's very nice to meet people from different locations and different majors. We have engineers, anthropology majors, and so much more. So it's so nice to be able to talk to people who are a little different from you, who share different interests and different passions, and to be able to communicate like that, it's very nice. And I talked to some of the people that I went to Ireland with almost every day. I have classes with several of them. I live in the same building with some of them. And we form study groups. We hang out almost every weekend. We eat in the caf together, meet at the library, stuff like that. So I'm seeing most of them every day, and I'm maintaining my friendships with them and that I love. And as far as the FSA kids that I don't get the opportunity to see every day, it's still so nice when I'm walking to class in North Campus and I see just thousands of faces passing by, and suddenly I just see a familiar face that I get to talk to for, even if it's 5 minutes, we can catch up a little bit and talk about some of the fun memories that we created in Ireland together, and whether it's just seeing them in the caf or seeing them walking, even if I don't get to see them all the time, it makes my day sometimes. And even though we only spent 2 weeks together, which seems like not a lot of time at all, the memories we created together really bonded us. Almost most of the memories were positive ones, we got to kiss the Blarney Stone together, we got to explore Dublin and Cork and Belfast together. That was so much fun. But not all the memories were positive. We got lost together once in Dublin, and there was little arguments over which bus system we should take back. We went on this miserable hike together that seemed like it lasted several hours, even though I'm sure it didn't last that long. And we had the occasional disagreements here and there, like every other group of friends. And I think that's what made us so close, even in Ireland and throughout our time here at Michigan State, because we understand each other, we know what makes each other tick, and we're very close because of all the different variety of experiences and memories that have been definitely unique that we've created together. This is one of the beaches that we stopped at on one of our first days together. This is where we took class when we went to Dublin. As you might notice, it's much more modern than where we studied in Cork, and that was one of the main differences between Dublin and Cork. This was a historically famous pub we went to in Dublin. This is one of the pictures we took inside St. Patrick's Cathedral. This is Trinity College Library. It's a very nice library in Dublin that we went to. We also got to go to Belfast, and this is one of their main governmental structures for Northern Ireland. These are some of the murals that we found in Belfast in Northern Ireland. These are really important because of all the tension going on between two conflicting groups in Northern Ireland. It shows how they get to express themselves and their ideas. Another way that I think FSA made MSU much easier was on the academic side of the FSA program. High school classes are obviously much different from college classes. I knew that coming in. I just didn't know in what ways they were different. I had always heard that they were much harder, but that's kind of a subjective term, so I wasn't really sure. But when I went to Ireland, I learned really what a college class was like, and that the professor won't hold your hand, and that you won't necessarily take quizzes every day to make sure you did the readings, or you won't have to turn stuff in every day, but the work will catch up to you if you don't do it. And some of us learned that in Ireland, and some of us are still living that reality here in East Lansing. But also, I was going to go from not taking any classes all summer to suddenly taking 18 credits, and that was going to be a big change, but taking one class over the summer really helped ease my way into college classes, along with helping me learn what a college class is really like. Also, one of the very difficult things that I encountered was that we had to learn to balance schoolwork with social life. So FSA really helped with this, because in Ireland it was especially hard. You're in this incredible country for only 2 weeks, and you want to go out at night, and you want to have fun with your friends, and a lot of tough decisions had to be made. You have to stay in and do your work sometimes. You don't always get to go out exactly where you want to go. And, we had to wake up at 8 a.m. and start homework sometimes. So decisions had to be made, and there are similar choices here in East Lansing. It's sometimes difficult not to go to a social event or a football game or a night out with your friends, but FSA taught me that sometimes you have to make those decisions, and that's the reality of the situation. And also, I picked up valuable skills from all the readings that we have to do, and I still use that knowledge, like the J.S. Mill quotes or O'Malley quotes. I still use those in my classes today. It definitely helps with James Madison especially, as well as all the other majors, I'm sure. I also learned how to debate and get my ideas across in an effective way. One of the things we did in my tract at the end of the class was we had a debate about privacy, and it got really intense, and I learned that I wasn't on a debate team or anything in high school. I didn't really know much about debate, but it definitely helped me. We have to do that in class now. Sometimes we have to talk about our ideas and discuss our ideas, and learning to debate definitely helped with that. And I think probably the most beneficial thing was learning to talk to our professors. A lot of times Professor Nicholson would have us come speak to him if we were misunderstanding one of the readings or something, and I know that I would have been very intimidated coming to college, because the professors will always give you their office hours and tell you to come in and help, but it's very intimidating because there's a professor and he's using all these fancy terminology and stuff, and you're like, well, I really don't understand. But Professor Nicholson definitely made it so easy to come to him to ask for help, and now all my professors, I've gone to office hours, they know me by name, I know them by name. It just makes it so much easier to adjust to the academic part of MSU and all the differences between high school and college courses. It definitely eased the transition, made it so much easier, and I think I'm doing better academically because of the FSA program I went on. And this is a picture of me and my friends inside of Blarney Castle that we went to during the middle of our stay. This is a picture of my friends and I exploring the streets of Dublin. This is the Titanic Museum that we got to go to in Belfast. It was very cool to learn a little bit about the history of the Titanic. This is actually one of the protests that went on in Dublin during our stay. It was actually interesting. We got an email from the American Embassy telling us to stay away from this part of town because it could turn into a riot. But really in Ireland, they protest a lot in order to get their voices heard, and that's how they do it. We don't exactly do that very much here in America, but it's very regular for protests there. This is a picture of the small city of Dingle that we got to go to for a day. This is one of the jails in Dublin we went to where many of the famous revolutionary characters were placed during the time of the revolution. This is another building at UCD that we started taking classes in during our last couple days in Dublin. This is our final dinner that we ate in Dublin all together. And this is a picture of the very hectic Dublin airport. I plan on doing a few things now that I have had experiences with FSA. I definitely think I would like to study abroad again. I know there's a program in James Madison, there's a class opportunity where you can go to London for a couple weeks, and I think 2 weeks was a really good time in Ireland. I thought it was helpful to know now that I know I love Ireland, so I might want to go back, but I don't know if I would love London. I don't know if I would love some of the other Japan and Italy. I think a 2 week is a really good way to see if you enjoy that country and if you want to go back to that country. So I think I will definitely do another 2 week kind of trial thing. And also with that, another thing that I want to do is take an internship abroad for a longer period of time, whether it's Ireland or London or wherever I decide to go. Now that I know I love Ireland, I might do an internship in Ireland. I met a lot of new people who were from Arizona and some from California who lived or didn't live in Ireland, but who were at UCD for the summer. And they were doing internships that their school set up for them and stuff like that. And I think that's an amazing opportunity to be able to work someplace abroad while in college and to get those experiences. Again, I had amazing experiences in just the 2 weeks that I was there. I couldn't imagine using a whole semester there and being able to explore the city some more and explore the country some more. And there's so many things that we wanted to do that we can get to do. We wanted to go to the cliffs and just a few. We wanted to explore around a little bit more, shop around, stuff like that. So I think that would be an amazing opportunity, as well as to go to London for a couple weeks and also to do a few internships abroad. I think that would be awesome. So those are a couple things I'm just looking forward to doing. Thanks to FSA. I don't know if I would have even studied abroad if it wasn't for the FSA program. I have always wanted to travel, but I wasn't really into spending a whole semester somewhere. So I think that's where the FSA program really helped me. It made me realize that I was not ready to go home after 2 weeks and that I think I could definitely spend a lot more time in another country. So again, a couple things that I would like to do are to do another 2 week take a class there, and then also to take an internship abroad for a summer semester or a fall or spring semester. So FSA has definitely taught me a lot about myself and that I love to travel and stuff like that. And to prove that we're still friends, this is a picture of some of my FSA friends that we took in East Lansing.